Mud scrap will make your tail so slick. Been living in the water all my life, it's wonder I said.
I said, I said, I said, I said, I said, I said, I said.
Jaybird, what makes you fly so high? Been eating these acorns all my life, it's a wonder I don't die.
I don't die, 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 I don't die.
Groundhog, what makes your back so brown? It's a wonder I don't suffocate living in the ground.
In the ground, 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 in the ground.
Rooster, what makes your claws so hard? Been scratching this barnyard all my life, it's a wonder I ain't tired.
I ain't tired, 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 I ain't tired.
Tomcat, what makes your tail so long? Well, the way these boys been pulling my tail, it's a wonder I ain't gone.
I ain't gone, 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 I ain't gone.
Come on, you Missouri girls, listen to my noise. Don't want you to marry no Arkansas boys. If you do, your portion will be cold. Johnny Cake and venison's all you'll see. Johnny Cake and venison's all you'll see. When they got caught, and guess what they wear? The old cotton shirt all pitched with tar. The old woolen socks that wore the winter round. The old leather hat wore brim and crown. Old leather hat wore brim and crown. When you go in, I'll set you a chair. First word to say, Daddy killed a deer. Next word to say, when you sit down. That'll make you Johnny Cake, will make you too brown. That'll make you Johnny Cake, will make you too brown. They'll build you a house in yonder's hill. Take you there, it sure will. Leave you there. Arkansas raised. That is the way the old Arkansas raised.
Check it, check it, check it, check it. What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Howdy, y'all. How you doing?
Oh my God, dude! No
I'll just
way.
never stop singing. My mom wants that. Music is my
Let's get the party
There
started.
are so many emotions. I think it's the best way to tell a story.
I don't know what's going on with your hair.
I got a cute girl. I don't know. It's just so hard to do that. Music makes me feel alive. I feel some just an attention for.
Blah, blah, blah. Yo, how's
He
it
made
going?
it. He made it.
I
Ladies
did
and
make it. I
gentlemen.
just walked in the door
He
like 2
frickin'
seconds
made
ago.
it.
And I know most of you are already jelly because there's not a single person watching, nor will there be later after this goes on the intranets
Not one person.
when it's not a live show. What are we doing with this?
I'm getting it down there. All right, we're done. We're right there.
It's not a single person out there that's got a Mississippi Nights hat. How many of y'all remember Mississippi Nights?
Kimberly's here. Julia's here. Ooh, I wasn't supposed to say anything about Julia.
Well, then don't.
It could be a different Julia though, so we'll just go with that. You don't? Does anybody out there have a Mississippi Nights hat? You have
No
a shirt
way.
too. You have a shirt too.
I know. There is no more Mississippi Nights. It's
Aw.
gone. Amazing place up in St. Louis.
Oh, Stephanie?
I never got to play it.
She said me.
Stephanie ain't got no Mississippi Nights hat.
Oh, but Julia. Oh, you asked who remembers it, and Julia has a
Oh, okay.
saw a silver tied at Mississippi Nights. Yay! All right, so we got some Mississippi Nights understanders out there. Understanders? Does that make sense?
Sympathizers.
Sympathize. Okay, we'll call it that. I have no idea what's going on here.
Anyway, it's good to be here. And the one thing that has confused me the most this week is why in the fuck in the history of Pez. Anybody remember Pez?
The candy?
Yeah, there's nothing to remember necessarily.
Nothing to remember other than the Pez candy. Not sure what's going on over there. I can't read that. From...
format is going to erase everything.
Oh, right.
You didn't check what's on it.
Yeah, but you don't need to format everything. You said no, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, man. Fucking Pez.
Pez. All right.
What the fuck with Pez? I'll tell you what. With the way everything has gone in our society in the last 20 years, why in the world did Pez never make a situation that would hold more? Like, it's always just been those like 15 bars. And I don't know why there's not a Pez dispenser that holds like 45 pieces of candy, like a big long ass motherfucker with like a tiny head on the top. It's always just been the short ones.
Like as tall as the kid that's eating them.
Like I can go buy a Snicker bars right now at Come and Go that weighs like 76 pounds because it's like, oh, we're just going to go to the extreme. We're going to be so fucking American about this that we're just going to make a 76-pound Snickers bar and like a sheet of Hershey bar that is like the size of a floor tile. But Pez is just like, no, we'll just do our 15 pieces.
I see what you're saying. Everything.
What the fuck? Like, why was there never like a Pez? Like the fucking Hulk Pez is like, and spits out a Pez bar that's like a gold brick from the cartoons, you know?
You have to,
Like, fuck, you just got to take it and just off of one end of it. And you just could buy a Pez dispenser that was like this fucking big and like have Pez bricks come out of that sumbitch.
Pez bricks.
You could just like, you could have a Lord of the Rings set that's just like, yeah, the orcs are like, yeah, just spitting out bricks of Pez. No, they just stick with their dumbass little 15 piece. I know all you got to do is lift the lid and it spits it out, but that's still a lot of work for only like 10 pieces of like candy that's half-ass anyway. I get that they went down the Star Wars and they did all the characters and they did, all the, collectible Pez. I got it. It's, that part of their business was cool. But I don't know why there's not like a fucking Mega Pez. It's still all plastic and it still has like a lion's head at the top. And it's like, and just spits out like a Pez brick. Like it's like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy these 10 pieces for like 7 months.
Almost had seltzer out my nose.
The line of Big Pez could just be all of the villains in our lives, like Jabba the Hutt. Just spit me out a Pez brick. You can't even bite into the motherfucker. It'd take you a year just eating one of the bricks. That would be so cool. And why hasn't Pez done that? Pez?
Maybe you should write a letter.
Get your shit together, Pez.
Join the family.
Everybody else is making 76-pound Snicker bars.
Those do weigh a lot.
Why the fuck isn't Pez on board, man?
No. How come you didn't bring any with you?
Piss Jesus off.
Goats. Amen.
Yeah, man. It could be all of our childhood villains, like Skeletor. The Pez brick.
Al Hutchins says a pipe of pixie dust. What was that candy called? Pixie sticks, right? Pixie sticks.
But I think I could actually walk in my house and show you a pixie stick that is a motherfucking pixie stick.
I think the kids ate them all, but yeah.
Did they eat them all?
They're this long and that fat.
Jody Guy Cottongim brought them to us. And yes, we used to have the pixie sticks when we were little. Now there's like a pixie tube. It is, you can beat kids with it for real, and they would remember it.
They would remember, and it would
like our grandparents are all like, oh, mom and dad used to make us go cut our own switch. If I beat you with one of these pixie sticks that I have in my house right now that Jody Guy Cottongim gave to me, you would remember it. And you will tell your grandkids, right, my dad beat me with a pixie stick. Because it's just big and awesome.
That's a giant pixie stick that he brought us. I wish we still had one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All the villains of our childhood. Just Elmer Fudd. Giant pixie stick. I mean, not pixie stick. Pez. They all start with a P.
All the villains.
This pisses me off, man. I'll tell you what. Everybody's working on trying to make shit better and bigger. Like, who in the world keeps redesigning gas cans? That shit is about to piss me the fuck off.
All the safety products
I
involved.
just bought a gas can the other day. I can't figure out how to get the gas out. It's still actually in the back of my Jeep right now with gas in it. I can't figure out how to get the gas out. I can't. So I got to go find a funnel. And I just stick a funnel in the whatever the fuck I'm trying to put gas in. And I just take the whole apparatus. It looks like a one-man band screwed into the top of a red gas can. I start expecting that thing to play drums and harmonica and kick that little hi-hat thing all at the same time while I'm trying to get gas out. Right. I just want to get gas from a container into my car on the side of the road because I'm out of gas. That's all I want. That's all I want. The gas cans have gotten out of hand. If I could have the guy that keeps redesigning gas cans, if I could have his neck in my hands right here, because it would probably fit in that hole right there, because he's a little pencil neck son of a bitch that keeps redesigning gas. He's doing it just to piss me off. That's it. That's it. There's no other reason. I can't even get it out. There's a button to push and a lever to pull and a clickety click and a lock and a button. I don't have any idea what the hell is going on. Why doesn't that guy go work for Pez? I wish the gas can designer would go grab a new job at Pez. That's what I want. So that like Brutus from Popeye. Pez! Arr! Big old Pez brick. Arr, arr, arr! I would collect those.
You would collect those.
So what's going on with you?
Oh, I'm just going to say real quick. Terry Jones says, push the button on the side, slide, do a cartwheel, moonwalk, and get the gas out.
That's exactly
That is
fucking
100%.
right. And it's piss. Oh,
I want to go back
listen.
up here real quick before we move on. Tyler says, have you tried Bud Light Seltzer Platinum, 8% alcohol in each can? No.
Are you
I mean,
sure? Yes,
wait.
we did.
Here's
up in Lake of the Ozarks.
I did. And here's my thought on that. I've tried them. They're fantastic, but I've gotten into enough trouble drinking these little bastards. So I'm not going to be doing no 8%. 5% is plenty because they go down way too easy.
Why not, brah?
Because I don't want to get in trouble again. So child-proof past the point of adult-proof. Yeah, I know, Stephanie, that's true.
They're insane.
Since gas cans are
For
ridiculous.
those of you who haven't needed to buy a gas can lately, go just walk through the aisle.
Yeah.
They look like ducks. Like the whole fucking thing looks like a duck head sticking out of the top of the can, and I don't even know what to touch first.
There's any,
actually plastic pieces on it that you have to tear off
yeah.
when you buy one because, well, that plastic piece isn't necessary. But all this other stuff, it needs instructions.
Yes, I know.
It's unbelievable. And I don't know why our society has gotten so bored with the magnificence that God has given us. All of the wonderful waterfalls and landscapes and the sands of the sea, oceans, beaches, and all of the mountains and the beauty that the planet has to offer. We're so fucking bored that we've got to keep redesigning gas cans. Ah!
You okay?
And Pez just sits there like, yeah, we're still Pez. Fuck it. Here's what we do. We released the new Pez that's got this. We don't care anymore. We don't care. You had our attention in the 80s. You don't have our attention anymore.
Nope. Unfortunately. You asked what's new with me.
Yeah, what's new with you?
I was down at that job today too, but I left early because I had to get pretty. I had to come get pretty and set this shit up, and I screwed up a couple of things, but I got most of it right. I don't know where he's going right now. Maybe he has to go tinkle. I don't. He's gotta pee. Stephanie says addicts have made shit hard for us normal people.
I'm being live on Facebook right now.
Dan is peeing live on Facebook right now. You can't see it, so we won't get in trouble, right? So
Is Zoom gonna shut me down?
maybe Zuckerberg might. I don't know. If you tell the truth, sometimes he does. I don't know. Weird things happen. Oh. So Terry Jones says, okay, so my job story is I'm a gas can engineer.
Oh, no.
That's it. You're out of here. We're not going to get you on the show. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Did we say hi to everybody? Did we ask how everybody's week was? I don't know. He came in, he just got here. You saw the video earlier. I think some of you did. He was driving the creeper van up here. He made it just in time for the show. You kicked ass.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome, hun.
No, we haven't asked how everyone's doing. Man, it's so good to see you guys. I even saw a couple of you on my little video I made a little while ago driving home from work, and it was good to see you. And we love having you, and we look forward to seeing you guys each week. It's super fun.
Super.
Chris Schneider. How about that guy?
How you doing, Chris?
About cutting his leg off this last week.
We can't do that, buddy. You came in. Yeah, Dan came in hot on a rant. That's true. Al wants his free candy. So we're going to talk about jobs today, right? We're going to talk about jobs. Are we ready to start talking about jobs?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got some more yelling and screaming to do about Pez?
I don't yell and scream, man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I make sense for the people.
You do make sense, but
Yes.
you're still yelling and screaming.
I'm running for president.
Uh-oh.
You only got 2 weeks
Like
to friggin'
16 days.
write
or
me
some
in.
Shit.
Write me in, please.
Can you
Like,
imagine that?
Like for any of you out there who are like on the fence and you don't know what you're going to do and you're actually contemplating not doing it at all, would you please still go and write me in? That would be funny if I could at least get one fucking vote, a write-in. Just do one write-in for Dan Fritz. That would be hilarious.
That'd be fucking hilarious. Yes. That's coming up pretty quick. 16 days.
I do have a way to fix our healthcare system.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, tell us about it.
Nobody will listen to it though.
Oh, really?
I actually even sent this in. There was something back in the beginning of this administration. It's like, oh, send us ideas. I sent one in.
You did.
I did. And it's tax credits for decreasing your body fat percentage.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it, huh? Let's talk about it. If you have a body fat percentage that is within a certain caliber of being healthy, then you get like some mega creds on your tax returns. If you're a big one, if you're a big person,
if you're a big one,
if you can show a decrease in your body fat percentage, you'll get like some hella benefits for that. If you show a decrease,
right? You
weigh in on a certain day. They put federal scales like at the post office.
And it records it legally.
Oh, fuck yeah. And it says, here's how much you weigh and here's what your body fat percentage is. Now, if you can lose 5% of that, you'll get a $1,000 tax credit on your returns.
Nice. Right? And each year, do you get more for staying there or
hell
decreasing?
Yeah. And then if you get down into the zone, that's actually the healthy zone of body fat percentage, then you do constantly every single year. You can write that on your taxes. I get a $2,000 credit on my taxes because I am within the zone of body fat percentage. Now, it's your choice. If you want to just stay fat and keep eating Twinkies, then go ahead and keep eating Twinkies. That's fine. You just don't get the tax credits.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I agree with that.
No big deal. You don't have to do it. Nobody's forcing you. Federal government ain't going to force you to lose weight. But if you do lose weight, you get like $1,000 tax break on your returns.
I think that's fantastic.
Then all of a sudden people will actually care about being healthier, and the healthier they are, the less our health care will cost, and it can work, but you can't get into people's biz. They don't want you telling them what to do. Don't tell me. Ain't no fat shaming. No, it's not fat shaming. It would be good for you to be healthier. You know that. So if you can come to the post office and weigh, go ahead and get your passport and your voter registration card
and your stamps
and jump on the scale. Let's see where you're at.
So Steffi's asking, do the people that are already in the zone get a tax break?
Yes. If you're already in the zone and you're already living healthy, then there's some kind of a benefit in there for you. Yes. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't understand politics and I don't understand budgets and money and healthcare at all. It's just a thought where you bring your actual body weight and your body fat percentage into your tax returns.
Right.
Bring your physical body into the tax returns and prove that you are trying to be healthier, and you'll get a break.
I like that idea. I think you should push it. Look at this. He says, Dan Fritz 2020, saving America by destroying one keyboard player at a time.
Have I destroyed keyboard players?
You are a keyboard player. That's what's fucking funny.
I got you. Well, yeah, maybe.
How about Stephanie here says, trades are lost to the youth. Still love you, Dan. Oh, let's see. What if you need to drop 10 zones?
Listen, this is the thing, is if you would release a plan like that, if you're one of those people out there that are like big, like problematic big, like we're talking 300-400 pounds plus, this would actually be great news for you because you've got the ability to like really like take advantage of like shit. I could lose body fat percentage. I could lose 10% a week if I would just work at it. And you'd be maybe getting money back at the end of the year.
Yeah.
If you just lose that weight, but if you lost that weight, you'd be happier. You know, you don't want to be that big. And our general overall health care would start getting better because everyone would start using their physical health as a way to get tax credits.
And then it
you
trickles
can't just
down.
leave it to everybody because we're generally all too fucking lazy. And so you're not going to lose any weight until it starts hurting your pocketbook.
Right.
Go get a trainer. If you go get a trainer, this is a separate subject. When you go get a trainer and they charge you $45 an hour to work out, how much more are you going to try to eat better and maybe do some cardio on your days off and do what they say, because it's costing you almost $50 an hour to go train with that trainer. Now, all of a sudden, you give a shit about actually sticking to your diet and sticking to your workout regime because it's coming out of your fucking pocket. When you just say to yourself randomly, I need to lose some weight. Okay, then go do it tomorrow. I'm pretty busy tomorrow. How about the next day? Well, I don't know. I have a birthday party to go to. Okay, how about the next day? Well, I don't know. My kids are going to need to be picked up from school. It's like, all right, give me $500 if you don't work out the fourth day. No, I'll work out. Oh, all of a sudden you'll work out when you have to give me $500, don't you? Don't you? Because we're lazy and we're not self-disciplined and we don't have it in us
Accountability.
until it starts costing us money.
Al Hutchins says, or just hire a dominatrix to belittle you. You got good ideas. Maybe you should run for president.
I just want to write in. If anybody will take the time to go to the booths on the day and you're just like, I don't really fucking care and I can't make up my mind and pick the best of the worst evils or whatever everybody's going with. If you're just kind of like, fuck it, I don't even care to vote at all. Okay, that's fine.
Then write down.
Then still go, please, and vote for me as a write-in. I want to see if I can get at least one write-in. I don't know if there's any way I could find that out.
I don't know how that would work. Like in the results, are they going to put that up on the results?
If there was a fucking
there's
thing
like one
that just
vote.
said, hear this, and then I know there's going to be like libertarian type voters and all kinds of different things type vote. If there was just one Dan Fritz vote,
just
that
one
would be
single vote.
Great.
Chris Schneider says, you're making me feel guilty about this pumpkin spice Twinkie in my hand.
That's right, Chris Snyder.
Hi, Diane.
Hey, you don't have to feel bad, but if at the end of the year you could get some money back from the government if you don't eat your pumpkin spice
That's
Twinkie.
right. See, 1 less or 10 less pumpkin
you'd
spice
be sitting
Twinkies.
there going, oh man, this affects my tax returns. And if it affected your tax returns, you might put the Twinkie down. I don't know. It should be big though.
I thought about ranting on something earlier today, but you beat me to it with the Pez. I'm a big fan of that.
Think of the amount of money being spent trying to figure all this shit out.
Yeah.
You could tell someone, if you lose 20% body fat, you don't have to pay taxes at all.
Oh, shit.
You just don't have to pay them at all. If you can prove with our federal scales at the fucking post office, if you can prove and you have a federal person that has taken your body fat percentage,
Right.
if you can prove you lost 25%, you don't have to pay taxes at all.
Right.
The amount of money the IRS would lose by people actually accomplishing that goal would only be a fraction of how much it's costing them to try to just pay for all of us fatties, smokers, Twinkie eaters. It's costing us trillions to try to take care of us all. So if you just told people lose 25% body fat, you don't even have to pay taxes. Oh, well, we're going to lose that money in their tax revenue, right? But we're going to have a shit ton of people that are in better shape, and we're not going to need as much money to take care of them.
That is true. That is true.
Smokers the same way. If I go in and like I'm a smoker and my tax returns has a line that says, if you quit smoking indefinitely.
How do they prove that?
Well, I don't know. They'll come up with some federal. I'm sure Elon Musk can come up with a way to prove that I haven't smoked in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And he'll create that technology and they'll like zap some fucking thing into me and it'll tell them if I've smoked in the last 6 months. And if I have not smoked in the last 6 months, then I don't have to pay taxes. Oh, everybody would start getting healthy. really, 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 really fast.
Terry Jones says, but what about alcohol? I need a bigger tax break for dropping Crown.
Hey, I think it could all be in there. See, now it's getting complicated.
And then now
we need like a Congress to figure out how we're going to write this up.
And now we have a debate. Look at this. Fast food sales would go way down, which would mean loss of jobs. So we're having a little debate here, right?
No, well, yeah, but at the same time,
but healthcare would be cheaper, she says.
Another idea I had, if I was president, I would just overnight, I would just switch the prices of fast food versus good food for you. I'd just switch it.
Just switch it.
Overnight. So instead of good food for you being so fucking expensive and fast food trying to be cheap, I would make a Big Mac value meal at McDonald's cost $15. It's $15 for a Big Mac value meal, and that goes across the board. All fast food restaurants, if you have something that's like a $3.99 value meal, it's $15 now. But I can also go buy fruits and vegetables for like 50 cents.
Right.
Okay, go.
Now how do we eat? Right?
You're creating shit tons of jobs over at the grocery stores and the farmers markets, and you're probably going to lose some jobs in the fast food. So what?
And they're already doing the curb service things with your groceries, so you don't have to worry about the drive-through you're missing. You can just do it on the app and go pick up your fruits and vegetables. You could open a Fritz for 50 cents a piece.
You could open a Fritz fruits and vegetables. And that's all you sell. Nothing else. You ain't got no pharmacy. You ain't got no fucking deli and meat department or nothing. I'm just going to open up a strip mall that just sells fruits and vegetables, and I'll get fucking rich because I'll sell the shit out of them. So you'll also have other jobs created, even though you'll lose some. Just quit letting people have a bunch of shitty shit that's going to kill them for next to nothing.
Good point.
I just bought cauliflower a week and a half ago. 3 heads of it. It's like $4 a piece for a fucking head of cauliflower. Why isn't that head of cauliflower like a 50 cents?
No kidding.
And then the Big Mac value meal needs to be like $15. That's your fat tax.
There you go.
It's a fat tax. We just need to have, it's not fat shaming. Don't get all pissy at me. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that are fat. Make a fat tax. If you are fat, you're going to get taxed harder on these things, and your McDonald's value meal is going to cost $17. I just raised the price.
That's it.
I feel like I might have a chance in this election, and I'm trying to be more honest with you. Dan Fritz, 2020, your Big Mac value meals are going to cost $17. And I'll bet you'll quit fucking buying them. If they roast cigarettes to $17 tomorrow, I'll just be like, well, shit. I guess I'll stop smoking.
Tom Embry says, Dan, the new AOC.
No, the difference between me and AOC is I fucking make sense.
Bam!
I absolutely make sense, but it is a radical idea. A fat tax.
Fat tax.
You lose weight, you don't have to pay taxes. You watch how many people get skinny. And you watch how much revenue comes pouring in other ways, because we won't need trillions of dollars to take care of all you unhealthy sons of bitches, including myself.
So he's talking to himself too.
Well, fuck I am. Of course I am. I'm not beating nobody's balls. If the IRS sent me a letter tomorrow and said, if you keep smoking, your taxes double, I'm going to be like, God damn.
I guess I'll quit.
I guess I'll quit smoking. Stat. I'm done. I'm not a smoker anymore. I can't pay double taxes.
Oh my goodness. That is so true. Look at this one right here. Fat tax the plane tickets per 50 pounds. If I have to pay for luggage, weight is weight.
That is correct. That is a great one. Listen, to be extra clear, none of this is fat shaming, but there are people who are big and they can help it.
It's fat,
and they can help it, and they can do better. And if I can't bring a carry-on that weighs more than 27 kilograms, which I don't even know what that is, but I have to sit next to someone that's 300 pounds. Why aren't they paying for all the kilograms?
No kidding.
I'll tell you what, let's get on the scale at the airport and let's see who's bringing how much weight on the plane. And you pay for that. Your plane ticket, I'm getting out of hand. I've got to stop.
You are. Yeah. Oh. A private message from someone who's bummed that he can't be watching tonight because he's practicing in his band. I don't know. He said private message, so perhaps he wants to remain private, or
it don't matter.
It
yeah,
doesn't matter anyway.
So anyway, yeah, I kind of got off the rails there.
You did get off the rails, but I like it.
Fritz Fruits.
Yeah.
We're gonna open up Fritz Fruits.
I put that up earlier. Fritz Fruits.
And I'm gonna sell 1,500 bananas a day because the government will let me sell them for 50 cents and still make a profit. And I can watch McDonald's just melt like a slug with salt on it. That's what they should do because they've made us all unhealthy.
They did it.
They did it single-handedly.
It was their fault. They stuffed that Big Mac down our throats.
Yeah, where's the Ray Kroc statue that I want to tear down? He's the one that fucked it all up.
Well, every McDonald's
Fucking
has
Ray
that.
Kroc.
Every McDonald's has that Ray Kroc plaque. You could just
I'm gonna spray paint on it.
Go to all the McDonald's and big X through them. Yeah,
I'm gonna spray paint on it.
They did that to us.
Yeah,
it wasn't me picking
I'm gonna
up
spray paint like smokers matter, Ray.
Oh my God. What the hell's our topic tonight?
Fucking asshole, you made us all fat. Our topic is jobs. Go get a real job.
Get a real job.
How many musicians have heard that?
Oh God.
Snoop Doggy Dogg, you need to get a jobby job.
Get a real job. That's our topic tonight. Although sometimes people just want to hear you bitch, Dan. I'm sorry, you're not bitching.
I'm not bitching. I am working on my campaign.
That's
Please,
right.
If somebody would just write me in this year. If I could get one single vote for 2020. If you've given up and you're just like, oh my God,
it.
I'm just waiting on the asteroids to hit. I don't even fucking care anymore. Just be like, I will go to the polls and write Dan Fritz in though.
That's it. I'm gonna.
Because I think it'd be funny if he at least got one presidential vote for the 2020 election. I want that so bad.
I would love to see that on the news. Like, and last place, Dan Fritz.
Dan Fritz from Springfield, Missouri.
With one vote.
Got one vote.
One write-in.
Oh my gosh. If fucking Don Lemon had to vomit that out of his mouth, that would be awesome. It's like, Don Lemon, you had to say my name, you son of a bitch. You don't even know what my policies are.
No, but there's one scraggler down here with a write-in in Missouri.
They'll get me on the damn news. They'll be like, so you did get a vote. So what's your policies? Well, let me tell you. There's a lot of big people in our country.
And I don't mean prestige.
Oh, dear Lord.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You guys know I'm right. You know I'm right.
Julie is asking if you only get one vote, would it be me or you voting for yourself? That's the point. We want someone out there.
Myself.
And I'm not going to vote for him either. It has to be a real.
I don't want it just because like it would exist.
Yeah.
I want actually someone that's not me and not you, and just somehow find out that I got one write-in vote for the 2020 election.
I guess you'd have to register though or something. I don't know. Well, that would.
Yeah, I don't know if I have to actually formally.
Like if it's literally a write-in, people could write their mom. I mean, it does. You could just write Gertrude Salazar. That's who I want to win.
And maybe it happens.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it happens.
There might be 50 of you with one vote. That'd be funny.
It's just really simple. Everybody just keeps trying to throw money. They just keep trying to throw money at healthcare. Just like, let's throw more money. Like where the hell, how much money do you think there is? I mean, for real.
I know.
You can't just print more. That's not really how it works. So they just
gotta shuffle it around.
Throw money, but nobody will talk about like, hey, maybe if we all got healthier, we wouldn't have as big of a healthcare problem. It's so funny that I can smoke a cigarette in the parking lot of Come and Go and finish my cigarette before I have to put my mask on to go inside and buy me a coffee. So nobody gives a fuck that I'm dying of my cigarette smoking in the parking lot. They only care that I'm going inside to cover something. I walked into a shitter today who somebody had just got done shitting. I had my mask on, and the second I walked in the door, I was pounded with shit smell. Pounded. It almost like fucking brought me to my knees. This fucking guy was in there just destroying, just lighting shit up. The dude was partying like it was 1999 on that shitter. And the second I opened the door, it didn't take me a couple seconds. It was the second I opened the door, I got destroyed with the smell of shit in my face. Destroyed. Like I almost threw up in my mask. It was so pungent and crisp. It was all right there. There was nothing filtered whatsoever. That guy's ass was in my mouth the second I walked in the fucking door.
The fucking door.
If you think that these masks are keeping anything, it's so funny. Ever since the mask mandate, I've known more people personally with COVID than I ever have in this whole entire mess.
Yep.
There's been more people that's got it since mask mandate than after. Maybe the masks are actually causing more of a spread. Woo! Oh, Dan, you're crazy. You're going to lose friends. Ha! You think I care? I don't care. That guy's shit was in my mouth and tongue. I felt it on my fucking gums, and I had a mask on the whole fucking time.
But the mask is to protect others, not you.
It's going one way and out the other way the exact same way. I'll tell you what, if for those of you who believe that, I'm going to eat a bunch of garlic, and then I'm going to get you close to me, and I'm going to belch in your face, and I want you to let me know if you can smell my garlic. Because I bet you can. What we got going here?
What's that got to do with jobs?
Hey, I'll wear the mask. What?
What's that got to do with jobs?
Nothing.
Don't worry. I love your fucking rants.
We all have a job to do.
Let's do. Oh, nice.
And our job is to wear our mask
Very
because
good.
there's some people
Very good.
who believe it is saving the world.
Okay.
And for you, I respect you and I love you. I will wear a mask anywhere and anyhow, and whatever you want me to do, I am totally fine with it. I'm just telling you that dude's shit particles were laying on my tongue the second I opened that door, and I had big old fucking nicey mask on.
You had a big perfect mask on.
I almost threw up in my own mask. I think I already said that.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Plowing ahead.
Plowing ahead. Oh, Bill Burr. Bill Burr on
how
SNL.
about Bill Burr on
Bill
SNL?
Burr on SNL, everybody. If you
that
haven't
was
seen
a great
it,
monologue. If
please-
you were offended by that monologue, then you are probably not going to be able to be friends with us for much longer.
Because
it was awesome.
Because that monologue that he did, I didn't get to see the whole show. We tried to watch it last night, but we fell asleep. But Bill Burr's monologue, holy crap! Please go check it out. Because Josh is here. I was just talking about him.
Is he suggesting I have a mental illness?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think he
Yeah,
might.
maybe it might.
I think he might be afraid that I'm going crazy.
Jared Isaacs, you're finally here. He says, I just got here and the first thing I see is belching garlic in your face.
That's right.
You missed him talking about the ass matter on his tongue. So, you're going to have to rewind and watch this later. Because we're not going to go down that road again.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I've already erased several friends in the last 20 minutes. We weren't friends to begin with if I erased them.
That's true.
So that's fine with me. You know it's true. I've got good points. I want to write in for 2020 elections.
That's what you missed, Jared. You missed that Dan is running for president now, and he just wants. No, you're not really running.
I kind of am running. I just don't think I'm going to get any votes because it's only 2 weeks away now.
That's true.
But
That's
I've
true.
got healthcare figured out, right? I
Yep.
can get people to quit smoking,
Yep.
right? And that's
Mhm.
going to make healthcare better, right?
Yep. Josh pops in for a second and Dan is off on a shitty rant, literally. Yes, exactly, folks. Exactly.
If you could have smelled that dude's shit right through my mask, I mean, the second I opened the door. Anyway.
Ass matter on the tongue, can relate, can fucking relate.
Oh, Jared, I am going to put a pin in that.
Bink. Yeah, let's hold that one over there.
Hilarious, though.
Okay, can we get to the topic at hand, or are we just having enough fun like this? We're 45.
We changed our little setup
Yeah,
here. You
do you
guys
like
might have
it?
noticed. We switched things around, so it's a little more interesting.
We turned around, basically. We literally turned around in the studio. So hope you like the background. This is the rest of the studio. You saw a black curtain for many, many months. Now you get to see, well, another angle of the studio. So yeah,
it's kind of fun. So
Yeah.
Tonight we wanted to kind of get into like work, man. It's like I think this is something that we don't get into very often because we live in la la land.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like funny, like when all of us finally get a chance to get out, whether it be as early as happy hour or a little bit later when you hit the shuffle or you hit the riff or you hit the whoever's open and got maybe some music or got maybe some entertainment going. You know, the Marty Sports Bar's got the comedy going on Wednesday nights now, which I'm thinking about doing. If I did, I've never done it before. I've never, ever done stand-up comedy before. I've always wondered if I could. I always wondered if I should. I just don't know how it works. I don't know how to do it. I'm scared to death I would bomb. But I think I can be fun. I have no idea. But it's like open mic comedy at Marty's on Wednesday nights. And I'm kind of thinking about doing it. If I could get some support from some people, I might get the balls enough to go just see if I could even come close to doing anything worth a shit. But back to what I was saying. When you all finally have the time to kind of get out and about, you know, and you kind of hit the bars and, you know, even if it's early as happy hour, if you meet some friends up later, if you're going to go see a band and you go meet some other musicians and you're all hanging out, we're all standing out there in la la land because we all know we got work to do the next day, or we all have already been at work all day long before we even showed up there. But you got to be cool, right? So you got to walk in, you got to sort of pretend you're not absolutely devastated with soreness and tired and ready to fall over dead. You just have to be like, hey, what's up? No, it's good to see you too. Like, I know you guys are great. Your band was awesome. I am ready to fall over with stress, anxiety. Fucking, I can't pay my bills. I have to work at 5 a.m. I'm getting ready to get fired from my job. I don't know how I'm going to pay for my car. Those are actually the thoughts happening in the back of our heads when we are standing at the bar and we see you and we're like, yo, what's up? Oh my gosh, I gotta say yo.
And when we step up on stage to entertain you.
Yeah. So then it's like, can't wait for the show tonight. It's like, oh yeah, cool. And so you get up on stage, you sing your ass off for 2 to 4 hours, depending on what kind of band you are. And, then you're absolutely exhausted, like to the point of maybe needing to go to the ER, and you pack your shit up and you go home. Because a lot of us, most of us, still have to have real jobs.
Real jobs, day jobs, all that kind of goodness.
And that is the subject of tonight's show.
Get a real job.
Take this job and
Stephanie says, hope Tara doesn't fire you.
I ain't working here no more.
Yeah, we were going to call the show that, but we thought there might be infringement.
I didn't give a shit. It just wasn't as good of a name.
No, that's true.
I like, get a real job.
That's true. Much better.
What are you going to do with your life? You're all worthless and weak.
That was Tara, actually. That was pretty good,
You're
wasn't
all
it?
worthless and
Wasn't
weak.
that good?
That was good.
Thank you.
You're all worthless and weak. I want to rock.
Anyway. That's an impression we can do on Jared's show sometime. Who is this and what song
We
is it
do it
from?
and it's awesome. So let's start off this first section getting everybody involved. Everybody. Come on. Like, let's start talking about some worst job experiences and or some best job experiences. It doesn't matter if you're a musician or in a band. I know that's kind of like loosely, kind of like what we're a little bit all about, but you don't have to be that. You could also just be like, oh, I have got a job story.
Yeah.
Some job story.
Job story.
I've actually been working for myself ever since I was 19 years old. I haven't actually kept a real job working for anybody else since then. It's not always been very successful. Sometimes it's not successful now. Like some weeks I'm broke as fuck. And other weeks, like, this week wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I never know how it's going to go. Between the recession of 2008 and the COVID shit of the last 6 months, I'm going to be paying back taxes for the rest of my life. So when you see me out in public, know that I got about $30,000 worth of IRS tax payments I'm going to be making until the day I die. If you're also still my friend when I do die, and you come to my funeral and you look at my stiff, naked body in my casket, because that's the way I want to be laid out, you can think to yourself, I wonder if he still owes those tax payments. And I'll have a button in my casket that you can press, and it says, yes, I do still owe him.
Oh, very true.
But there's some other benefits. Forget about it. Come on. I could take off tomorrow if I want to. I'll just get my ass chewed all day long.
That's right.
I could go to work and try to get my shit done because I have integrity. Wow. It's like the struggle constantly every single day. You just got to work. We do beautiful stuff, though.
We do
amazing things.
Yeah.
What we do, Fritz Designs, LLC. I do almost anything made out of wood, including front doors, handrails, staircases, cabinets, trim work, mantles.
An amazing.
I've made dog houses. I've made road cases. I've made cabinets to hold grandma's ashes. True story. I've made cabinets for rooms that were just for all the animals. I had to create dog beds and places for them to eat, and litter box cabinets for the cats. I have made bars. I have done theaters. I have done boat dock cabinets for your boat.
Right. We're getting a lot of comments here.
I do work with wood and sometimes boners.
Jared says he has an hysterical story about his first job. We might get to you in the next segment, because that would be, I don't know, maybe even a phone in. I don't know, something like that. But we're getting a shit ton of awesome comments. Shit ton of awesome comments. Julia says she's in the best job situation she's had in a long time. Right here.
That's always good news.
I'm living the best job experience now. That's so freaking awesome. I'm glad to hear that. She says, I am the principal at a school that teaches rock and roll.
Hey, that's awesome.
Is that here in Springfield or down in Branson? Answer me, Julia, please. Currently listening to students down the hall playing Black Sabbath. Look at that.
Man, that's great.
That's a freaking cool job.
Yeah, that is great.
Principal.
Yeah, with all the work that we do, that my cabinet business has done. I mean, a lot of times it's hard work. A lot of times we got to go 16 hours a day. I've actually worked more than 24 hours straight a few times. Not all the time, but a few times I just had to get it done. And it's stressful and it's worn out. I worked so much one week. This is a true story. At my own business, but we had so much going on. I had to work a couple of shifts that were actually over 24 hours. One of them was 36 straight hours before I went back home. I stopped at Come and Go one morning at like 6 a.m. trying to head back to my shop. This was years ago, before I knew Tara. Come and Go right over here on National, close to Battlefield. And I walked in there to grab a coffee to go back to the shop after I'd just come home from the shop at like 4 a.m. I got back up at 6 a.m. and headed back to the shop. And I walked into that Come and Go to grab me a coffee, and I walked up to the counter, and the dude that worked at Come and Go, who I did not know at all, I did not know his name. We don't know each other. He knows nothing about me. I set my coffee on the counter, and I looked up, and while he was wringing out the coffee, he said, and I quote, "Dude, you look like shit." He said it just like that. And I
Oh
looked
my
up and I was
God.
like, what? He's like, you look like shit, bro. Like, are you okay? I don't even know this fucking guy.
Right. Just
I was like, yeah. Yeah. And I just took my coffee and I just walked out, like fucking staring in the distance, like a total stranger just asked me if I'm okay because I look like shit. That's how hard I was working back then.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard, but I'll tell you what, the reward has been really, really fun. Some of the people we've met, some of the people we've done cabinets for have become great friends. And some of the cabinets I've done have, gained recognition. There was one year here in Springfield, Missouri, and the vote was not manipulated by the Russians. The vote was not manipulated by the Russians. It was legit.
It was legit.
417 magazine had homes of the year, and they featured 4 homes, and they were all different price ranges. One of them was 500 to $1 million. One was $1 million. No.
Back up.
One was up to 500,000. One was 500,000 to 750.
Right.
One was 750 to $1 million.
And then $1 million plus.
And then one was $1 million plus. Those were the 4 categories, and they featured the 4 homes of the year in Springfield, Missouri, not manipulated by the Russians. Fritz Designs won 3 of those categories. 3 of the 4 homes that were in that magazine, the cabinets were done by my business. And that was a very, very proud moment. I know the cabinets aren't the only reason they won Home of the Year, but they just so happened to have my cabinets in their homes, as well as the house that was on the cover of that magazine. I'm proud of these things.
Yeah, and certainly, because one of the things, just tie it in right here real quick, real quick, is the cabinets are one of the first things that someone sees, because the kitchen is the heart of the home. And if the kitchen looks like ass, people aren't really going to want to see the rest of the home.
Right.
If the kitchen is fucking amazing, they want to see the rest, and they want to see all the other woodwork and cabinets, because it's surface design and architecture and layout is all fantastic too. That's all part of it. But your cabinets is what people walk in and go, what the, when they first see that.
Try. I also did all of the cabinets for 3 St. Jude homes. Now, the way the St. Jude homes works is that as a cabinet maker, I donate my cabinets. Now, sometimes I can't do it 100% for nothing. So in other words, the 3 that I did, they might have to just cover, like, getting me some wood. Like, if you could just get me the wood, the plywood and the lumber and things like this, I'll donate everything else, which is designing, cutting, building, installing, delivering, finishing, punching out, trimming, everything. I donated for fucking nothing. And then they sell tickets to buy that house, and they raise hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I did 3 St. Jude houses. Almost went broke doing them sons of bitches.
Yeah.
But I did them.
But you did them.
But I did them.
That's
because
right.
sometimes you just do shit like that when you own your own business. And that's the business that
Hi, Mark.
I've owned for 20-ish years.
And we're currently doing it, and it's just us.
Now it's just us. Yep. So
How do we do
you
it?
just got to wait a little longer.
That's our current job situation. Jared Isaac says, the Russians, I'm dead.
The Russians.
I'm dead. Fantastic. Hi, Mark LeBrock. Mark joined us. I'm trying to see. Oh, Julia says that she's principal at a rock school up in Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. Fantastic. Cool. So do you have a story of a job that was just treacherous?
Do you? I've been doing a lot of talking.
I know, but that's, people love you for that.
You talk about jobs.
So I don't think I've had a treacherous job, but one of the jobs that I had, first of all, I was lucky enough to not have a whole lot of regular jobs for a lot of my working life. I was lucky enough to play music for a living. for several years of my adult working life. So I can't say that it was shitty. I wasn't always paying all the bills. In many years, there were some slight times, but I was on the road for 6 years and doing nothing else. And so I didn't make a whole lot of money, but it was fucking fantastic to be on the road. So there's like a give and take, with not making much money. However, living your dream and playing music nationwide in this entire country. So the job was amazing, but there were some things that just made it a little bit stressful. The relationship I was in, the not much money being made, blah, 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 was a downfall. But being able to be in a different town every week singing was amazing. So it was still, I would say, an amazing job for 6 years of my adult life. When it comes to regular day jobs, we're talking about get a real job. I would think hauling hay was one of the worst jobs I've ever had.
What about all the dead animals on the back dock at the vet that had to be picked up?
Oh, Lord help me. Wow. Wow.
When you worked at the vet and there's all the animals in bags on the back dock ready to be picked up at 5 every day.
Thank you for reminding me, because
that's kind of a shitty job.
So yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm glad you reminded me.
Man.
I totally fucking forgot about this. So I worked at a vet clinic here in town. I'm not going to mention which one, for a period of time. And in the early 2000s, I would say early to mid 2000s. And I was basically just the one that ran the front desk. So you were the one who saw me, and I also did menial tasks here and there. I helped in the grooming department, and I also helped in the delivery / handoff of the dead animals. So luckily they were usually already covered, and I didn't have to see Fluffy sitting there.
They were already in a bag.
They were already in a bag. But there's a place in town that actually does a crematory service for animals. And so one of the things I had to do was carry these animals to the back with their little plastic bag with the name tag. And
throw them on the dock.
Here you go. There you go.
Did you actually throw them in like a pile? Did you have to just sort of
kind of?
They've got to go just in a pile.
It was kind of in a pile, but
I mean, it's awful. I mean, it's awful. But...
Okay, so there was a big dog one time that I couldn't carry. I actually had to drag it out the back door. And what's bad is I worked there for about 1.5 years, so I had seen this dog come in and out before alive.
Oh,
and so I'm like, oh my god,
dirty!
It's Pedro, whatever the dog's name was.
You knew his name.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god. So it was, I can't say that was a good job. I mean, wow. Yeah. Good reminder. And another part of this job was I was probably one of the older girls that worked here, and I was only in my mid 30s at the time, but I was one of the older girls that worked there. This was like my first real job after not playing music full time. So this was a big change for me. It was part-time, but still I was older than most of the staff. And when it came time to the unfortunate time where an animal has to be put down, there were a few people who couldn't handle it very well, a few customers with their animal who couldn't handle it very well. And so the manager of the place, she's like, you've been through a lot, Tara. Would you mind going in there and comforting them while the animal fucking
dies?
And I'm just like, really? Really? I don't know the animal, but this still fucking sucks for me. Jesus, God. Okay. All right. I walk in, and one of the most sad, I don't want to bring this whole podcast down, but one of the most sad episodes was this young 27-something-year-old, good-looking, strong young man. He brings a fucking dog in there, and it's a frou-frou dog. It's not even a hunting dog or anything like this. You would think this kid would have a Rottweiler or something like this, but it was, I don't even know, it was some mix, small little 25-pound dog, and he's just in tears. The dog is still alive, And it's like, it's his time and I just don't know how to handle it. And so they send me in there. I don't have a psychology degree or anything, but I'm the old one in the group. So they send me back there. You've been through a lot, she says. I'm like, yeah, haven't you lived on a farm and dealt with it? Yeah, I sure have. All right. So I'll go in here with Bill or whatever his name was and Fluffy. I don't know what the dog's name was. And I'm like, all right. I'm just like, it's the right thing. Like I'm sitting there. The guy is bawling. He's like 6'4" too. He's a big kid. And I was like, shit. Okay. Well, because he sat in there for a half an hour and couldn't decide whether he really wanted to do this or not. And it was like, all right, well, all right. I was trying to give the pros and the cons and And when it came down to it, I don't know this kid. I'm holding his hand while they're putting the injection in the animal.
Oh my gosh. And then you dated him for 14 years?
No.
I know how this story ends.
No. Anyway, so yes, you are correct. That
a guy acted like you were kind of awesome. And so you decided to date him for 14 years.
Yeah, no. I was still with the 14-year one at that
How many
point.
people think Tara's awesome? No, don't say it, because then she's going to go date all of you. Anybody got some horror stories? Anyone got some like awesome stories? I mean, let's go.
Jared said he had a hysterical one.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still here, but
I don't either. I'm going to send him a message maybe and I don't know, see if he'll call in. I don't know. See if that happens. I don't know. Oh, wow, we're getting some messages. So
put Diane's up there.
Okay.
All right. So just out of college, I got a job in a shirt factory. I was supposed to put the pins in those folded men's shirts. You know how you see them nicely folded. Yes. And slip it in a bag. I went to work at 7 on the first day and made it to almost 11 before walking out. That is when I knew factory work was not my forte.
Nice. Yes, exactly.
Just doing that all day. Slip in a bag. Slip in a bag.
Oh. Did this guy later invite you to his truck and kiss you and sing a song?
Yeah, that's exactly what probably happened, Jared. That's the part she's missing. I held it. I put my hands on him. I was holding his hand. Yeah.
You're silly.
That,
you're a goober.
I'm surprised she didn't marry him.
Oh my God.
At 6:00 that night.
You're such a dick. Dan is such a dick.
Back in the olden days, when guys just acted like they thought Tara was cool, she would marry him and date him, and I'll stop there.
You might. I'm trying to talk to them, because tell me about a bad job that you had, Dan.
Man, this one's a tough one for me because I always had a good attitude about my jobs. I always did, no matter what they were. I can't think of one that I was just like, oh, such an incredibly, horribly, tragically story. It really didn't matter.
Right.
I always kind of took jobs with decent attitude and was just like, this is what I got to do. I mean, if I said yes to the damn thing, then that's on me. And so if it ended up being kind of somewhat of a shitty job, I'd just be like, well, this is what I signed up for. I mean, I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken for a long time when I was in college and stuff. And so there's aspects about that, just the smell and the grease and oh my gosh, dealing with all that stuff. But
yeah,
I still sort of enjoyed it. I was just kind of like, fuck man, I learned how to make some chicken. I actually hated fried chicken until I worked there. And then but I tell you what I did do in that job, especially when I was working in Bolivar. I was going to school in Bolivar and I was working at that Kentucky Fried Chicken right there in Bolivar. And so towards the end of the night, of course, they would try to time it so that 10 o'clock at night, which was quitting time, we didn't have like a shit ton of chicken left over, because that was, what your job was as a manager, which I wasn't the manager. I was just the one that's, if she came out and said, drop this many head, that's how many head I would drop. and I would do whatever she said. But occasionally we would get fucked up because we thought something was coming, or like a big bus came, but hardly anybody ordered chicken. You know, it's funny, like when you work in fast food, if any of you guys have ever done that,
Oh yeah.
like you can be back in the kitchen and then just all of a sudden your manager runs out of the office back into the kitchen and she's like, bus. And I'm like, okay, how much? She's like, 8 head. I'm like, all right, bye-bye. And you just go before even the kids get out of the bus.
Right.
You know, because anytime buses pulled in, it's just like, oh, fuck. Especially in the chicken world, you know, maybe these days they've learned how to do things faster with hamburgers and shit. But, you know, chicken takes a minute. So anyway, I would drop all this chicken and then maybe they didn't order as much as we thought. And then at the end of the night, there would be actually quite a bit left. So I kind of got in good with my manager. She was cool with me. I was cool with her. And at the end of each night, I would be like, can I just take all this shit instead of just throwing it away? Like, this is just insane. Can I just take it? And she was like, yeah, I don't care. You can take it. So I would get those big KFC buckets and I'd fill about 3 of them up all the way to the top with shit that was going to get thrown in the trash. I was still going to school at SBU right there in Bolivar. I would drive those 3 buckets back to my dorm room in Bolivar, and everybody was excited when Dan got off work at Kentucky Fried Chicken because I would walk into my dorm room and I had 3 buckets and I'd sell each piece for $1 each. Okay. For $1, you can grab, and I would be met at the door just like fucking, duh, because all of us college kids were fucking broke and we were always hungry. And Dan would come home from KFC with 3 buckets. I mean, even the dorm mom that was actually supposed to be in charge of the whole fucking thing, she'd come out and be like, hey, I want like 5 pieces. I was like, all right, $5, bitch. Let's go.
You did not say bitch.
I didn't say bitch because I was a good Christian kid. But I did sell it to her. I didn't give it to her for free.
Oh my God. I fucking love that. We're getting a lot of fucking stories right now.
Jared.
So Jared Isaacs also. So what we're doing also tonight is featuring some of our local musicians who own businesses that you could possibly hire someday. And Jared Isaacs owns Sunset Productions. He also is the host of the Audio Roast podcast on Sundays.
He also says a lot, and that's okay. And then when we come back, am I getting the finger?
You are. You're totally getting the finger.
When we come back, we will get into Gail Fritz's post.
All right. So Jared said earlier that he has a hilarious story about his first job. So welcome, everyone. You got me some applause over there. Here we go. Welcome to the stage.
What is
Jared
that?
Isaac. It's him. So he can hear.
Oh, this is where we're going to hear him right here. Okay.
I hope so. I hope we're going to hear him.
Can we hear you, Jared?
I can't hear you. What the frickin' hell? Here we go again.
I'm just kidding. It's totally fine.
Oh, you're such an asshole. So,
100%.
100%.
He's live at Epcot Center, ladies and gentlemen.
If you knew how much money I spent on this, as soon as like I debut and it says, and Josh Bull's like, oh, you're at Epcot, I'm like, God.
Yeah.
Shit. No, it looks cool. Congrats on the new studio, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks. It's quite a process to move an entire studio. It was my first time in doing so, and holy cow! As organized as I try to stay in the move, there was so much stuff that got lost in the shuffle that it's still in boxes and stuff. So yeah.
Very cool.
But nonetheless, very cool.
So we're
Okay.
talking about people who do things around here, whether it be in a band, whether it be podcasters, whether it be whatever it is. And in reality, we all basically are probably still like, you know, working real jobs and have had real jobs and have worked a lot of hard work to get us even to this point.
Right.
And you said you have a great story about a job.
Yeah, so my first actual job, if you listen to my episode number 38 on the Unsung Dreamers, you'll know that I was a farm kid. And so much like Tara, one of my first jobs was bucking hay in the middle of the sweltering hot summer. It's a lot of hard work. But I don't consider that my first job because it was on the family farm. When we got our hay done, we went to a neighbor's and would help them, vice versa. But I don't consider that a job. That's just being
chores,
a part of the family. And yeah, exactly. So my first job, and before I start the story, I'm going to tell you that everything that comes out of my mouth is 100% fact. It is not made up. When it's something this crazy, you can't make it up.
Are you Tequila Jared right now?
No, I'm coffee
Okay.
Jared right now.
Coffee
So, so my first job,
100%.
my first
Okay,
job.
I found myself saying 100% like 50,000
You've been
times
saying it a million
after we
times.
gave you shit. I was like, oh my God, I say it too.
We're doing it all the time.
Ah,
They call it karma, bitches.
It's
Okay.
trending on Twitter.
totally. Hashtag 100%. Go ahead.
You're-
All right.
Okay, so my first job, I find in the newspaper that somebody's looking for extra help. And this happens to be up in Chillicothe, my hometown, a carnival.
Oh boy.
And so I go, and they're here for like 3 days kind of thing. And so I go to the carnival and I meet up with somebody and they put me to work immediately. I was like, I think 14 at the time. I was a kid. And growing up, my mom was always like, you don't need a job while you're in school. School is your job, just focus on that. Because I had my hands full with that as it was. So it was summertime. I wasn't in school, so I was like, I want to make extra money. We've already put the hay up and stuff. I feel like I want to work. So we go to the carnival, like a legit carnival, and I start working. And they put me to work at the cork gun stand. Now, so this is. Right, so imagine a BB gun that shoots a cork, basically.
Oh my goodness.
And we've got like this the pyramid of like red Solo cups. So pretend this is a red Solo cup, and as you've got your gun on, you basically, I'll try to do this. At the bottom of the Solo cups, it'll say small, medium, or large, and that'll determine what size prize the person wins. And some are blank, obviously. Not everyone's a winner. But so my job was to carny, corral people and, hey, step right up, come, show your skill at the cork gun. All this at 14 years old.
Win her a prize.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, long story short, I was not good at corralling them in. I was not very outgoing at that point. And so, in the space between time when people would walk by, in waves, like there'd be a bunch of people come by. And then there'd be a gap. In that gap, I would take those cups and one by one, like, oh, what's under that one? What's under this one? And so I noticed that everybody was only winning small stuff. And there was like a bunch of smalls, even more blanks, a few mediums, and no larges. And I was like, oh, you mean Santa's not real? And so and I still have 2 days to go. And now on day one, within like the first hour or two, I know this is a total scam. And I'm like, oh, I was just so disenfranchised, as a kid where, as a younger kid, I look forward to going to the carnival and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is awful. So, on my breaks and stuff, I would walk around and, I'd watch the actual carnies, the people that guess your weight, that kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't believe any of this now. So long story short, I worked there for 3 days and it ends on a Saturday night. And so I go to my boss, if you will, and I was supposed to get paid. I think it was like $20 a day or something. It wasn't any big amount of money. And so he says, well, what happens is we'll be, doing all the books and stuff tonight. Come back tomorrow on Sunday morning. And that's when we pay everybody out and we tear down and we go to the next place and all this. I'm like, okay, cool. So I come back on Sunday morning to a fucking field. It is totally gone. They are gone. I mean, out of sight. Not even you can't even see a hole in the ground where they put the spikes for the tents. Like they have totally packed up and gone. I totally got carnied.
You got
and so my mom, obviously I'm 14, so I can't drive. So my mom takes me to go get paid, and we see this as we pull up, and immediately she's like, this, you could see on her face this feeling of, oh my God, I just allowed my son to get totally raked over the coals.
Oh
right.
My God.
And I mean, I was like, I just as disenfranchised as I was about the cork gun being a work, like, then I get screwed that way. So my mom basically, she was, I don't want to say a single mom. She was remarried at that time, but he was doing the farm. She was the one actually going to work. So it was a lot for her, but she felt so bad. She went ahead and paid me what my wages would have been. And so I appreciated that. But yeah, so from then I was like, that was my lesson in get paid up front, at least something. But holy cow, yeah. So I worked for the carnival. So the funny part about this is, fast forward probably another 15 years or so, and of course I was a hairstylist for 16 years, and like 10 years into my career, I worked at Karma Salon, and Ryan Boyle was the owner. And I, for whatever reason, we had the same kind of conversation about what people's first jobs were. And I tell this story. Well, shortly thereafter, I come to work one day, and up on my mirror is a little clip out of the Springfield News Leader about the carnival coming to Springfield. And so it was like this running joke. Hey, Jared, you getting ready for the carnival?
Oh, man.
So that was my first actual job.
The world's been letting you down for a long time.
Dude, it's insane. They screwed me 100%.
100%. Right on.
So,
thanks, man. That was a great story.
Oh, holy crap. Jared Isaac's Audio Roast Podcast.
Work for the carnival
on Sundays.
Yes.
And also Sunset Productions can fulfill your band production need, or not even a band, whatever. If you need sound and lights and all kinds of goodness, they can fulfill that
stuff.
for you.
He gets into it. It's great.
So I don't have any phone numbers or graphics or anything like that, but you know what? There's Google.
Do you need some of that?
Yeah, look, he's gonna.
Oh wait, hang on.
What's he
gonna
do?
Let's see here. What am I gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Well,
there's what's coming up. Oh, you can't see it.
Hang on. Let me give you the whole screen.
Give him the whole screen.
There you go. There's what's coming up this
Good
weekend.
enough. Yeah.
Josh Poole and Jody Guy Cottengem.
Oh yeah.
Gonna be on the show this weekend. So
cool.
Should be good stuff.
That'll be good.
Look at you with your graphics. I love it.
Yeah.
So
somewhere I've got a graphic for Sunset Productions, but
That's all right. That's all right. We can Google that, Facebook it, whatever, that kind of thing. So, all right. Well, thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see ya.
See you, Jeff.
Bye.
I mean, Jared. I said Josh because he had Josh.
Because he had Josh on there.
All right. So let's go back now.
We have another story, another job story. So we're gonna
you read this one.
We're gonna bring Gail up here because I haven't read this yet. So this is a cold read. This is what you call a cold read.
I think I know what it's about.
Okay.
But go ahead.
This is Mama Gail. She says, when I worked for Missouri State Park Missouri State Park, as my job was to get a hold of all the department heads on campus and ask them if they could spare a teacher to teach a capstone class each semester, which was a gen ed class. One day I got an email from someone, and it was Dave Chappelle doing a scared, and I thought it was so funny. It says scared, and I thought it was so funny. Was going to send it to Dan, so I clicked on Dan and sent it, and I didn't realize that the name before Dan's was department head, so I ended up sending it to every department. Okay, so she got a really funny skit from Dave Chappelle, and it was a real controversial and real. Yeah, I got you, because it's Dave Chappelle, and he could be freaking controversial and amazing at the same time. Send it to the whole department head. Oopsie mama. That's fantastic. Oh, let's see. I'm going to read this one cold too. I don't even have a clue what it says, but I'm just going to read it because it's a big long paragraph from Al Hutchins. Totally opposite of Jared's story. I washed glasses and bar backed at Smart Alex back in the day on New Year's Eve. And at the end of the night, I was done and left. Like a day or two later, I returned to work, and the bartender was like, "Hey, you took off early. Here, the girls left this for you," and handed me an envelope with like $200 in it. Wow. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So just for bar backing and washing glasses, he got $200 for one night. That's fantastic. That's a good story. I like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm trying to see if I missed some of these comments about jobs. In case we did. No. Oh, there was one earlier, way earlier. This one. So, Terry Jones says, I had to go to school and work while playing. I ended up being a structural designer and was bored. Now I own a vape juice business specializing in customizing juice to get the singers off cigarettes. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Nice work. What's the name of it, Terry? Let us know what the name of that vape. You can advertise here. It's free advertisement night for local musicians with businesses around town. So free advertising for you today. So if you're still here, tell me the name of your vape business. We'd be happy to let everybody know what it is. I'm still looking. I thought I saw another one. He also said earlier, he said he liked last week's setup better. I'm guessing it was because of the shirt I was wearing. Anyway, so me from the little icon that he put, he was one of those. So Kyle Smith says, my background is audiovisual and automotive repair. Only one is current COVID friendly. I miss gigs. By the way, really enjoying this. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that very much. Vapor Playground Inc. So if you need some vaping to get off cigarettes and stuff, go check out Vapor Playground Inc.
Vapor Playground Inc. There you go.
I like that. Very good. Very good. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When Stephanie was talking about earlier that a lot of fast food people might lose their jobs under my administration, a lot of people might get jobs like Vapor Playground Inc.
That's right.
Because if you can quit smoking cigarettes, you get some tax bennies.
That's right.
So we'll make jobs and we'll lose jobs.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's right. So yeah.
Oh boy.
Do you have a terrible work story? Because your KFC stuff is fun, but no.
A terrible work story.
Or how about this? Let's switch it up. We've talked about terrible. How about, do you have a fantastic, other than your awards and stuff that you've already won for Fritz Designs, like a job that you had before Fritz Designs, do you have a fantastic, wonderful story?
It's got to be not Fritz Designs. I mean, I've had Fritz Designs for like over 20 years now.
Most of your working life since Johnny Q, right? I like the hammer story, but that's a kind of a
yeah, no, I've had definitely within my own job, within my own business, I've had some very terrible times.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what about some good? Is there one good? And then we'll get to
the hammer story is kind of funny.
It's freaking hilarious, actually. It's not really terrible, right?
This was back before Fritz Designs actually existed.
Right.
So,
right.
But I was still working for myself. I was working as a trim carpenter. So a trim carpenter is the guy that comes in and hangs the doors and trims all the doors and trims the windows,
the baseboards,
runs all the baseboards, all the stuff that has to do with trim work, right? That's what I did before I started doing cabinets.
We really have to lift this up.
So one night, I wasn't Jared's asking what about the time that I won the
MTV
VMA. Now I wasn't able to attend that night, so it had to be accepted by, I think Eddie Vedder took it or something like that.
I thought Janet Jackson did.
No, Eddie.
Then you met her later.
Eddie Vedder was like, I accept this award on Dan Fritz's behalf, and Dan Fritz is a hell of a guy. Me and Eddie are really tight.
You're super tight. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got his cell number.
Yep, totally. Mm-hmm.
No, so I'm on this job one time, and it had to be done by the next day, and it was New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. New Year's Eve wasn't the day it had to be done. New Year's Eve was the day that I was there trying to get it done for the next day, January 1st. So I had to run this baseboard. I had to run a baseboard before the carpet guys showed up. Mm-hmm. So the base had to go in before the carpet could be run, because the way this builder did it, that's just the way he did it. So I can't really run base after the carpet because they didn't want anybody on the carpet, blah, blah, blah. Long story. So I'm there going for it. Like, okay, I waited till the last minute to try to get this thing done. And so I'm there after hours. I'm running this baseboard. It's like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I still got several bedrooms to do. I'm like going for it. It gets to be later. It's like 9 o'clock. It's like pushing 10 o'clock. And I had something I was wanting to do for New Year's Eve. I can't remember what it was. But it's New Year's Eve, for Christ's sakes. I wanted to be somewhere, right? It's New Year's Eve. It is just, I don't remember what year this was. This would have been back in like 93.
Damn.
4. It was a long time ago.
Before MTV?
Oh, it was before, yeah, all of that. I think this was even before Johnny Q Public. So, or somewhere right around then. So I'm going for it. And it's now like 10 o'clock at night. And I'm out there all by myself. There's nobody else working. Of course there's nobody else working because it's New Year's Eve. And everybody's having fun and everybody's doing their thing and everything else. There was no smartphones at this time. There was no like that kind of intranet connection. There was no Facebook. There was no nothing. So it was just all my assumptions that the entire world is having the time of their life right now while I'm out here trying to run this baseboard at 10 o'clock at night on New Year's Eve. I reach into my tool belt to grab another strip of nails because my gun had run out and there's not a strip of nails in my belt. So I'm like, all right, surely I've got some more out in the work truck. So I got to the work truck and I go to where I normally keep my nails and there's no nails in there. And so sometimes my work vehicle would be kind of disorganized, you know, where like there'd be some nails under a seat or there'd be some nails stuck in the glove box or there'd be some nails stuck in a tote that they weren't supposed to be in. But there's always I just needed a few. I just needed a few strip of nails. I just had like 3 or 4 pieces more to nail up. I really literally only needed about 15 nails on these strips they come in that feed into a nail gun. So I start tearing my work vehicle apart. I am going through my toolbox. I'm going under the seats. I'm looking under the totes. I'm looking in the glove boxes. I'm looking in the console of the van. Surely I've left just a small strip. I only need about 15 actual nails, which in a nail strip is only about 1.5 inches or 2 inches of nails. And I would be able to finish this job, go home, and maybe make it home in time to celebrate New Year's Eve with my family. This would be awesome. There is not one fucking nail. I'm getting mad thinking about this story. I was in a neighborhood way out off of the West Bypass. And I've already said, but I've got to say it again. I will say it 20 more times. I was out there by myself. There wasn't anybody around on a street that had all kinds of houses on it, but several of them were still in the process of being built. And I cannot find nails. I cannot find them in my belt. I cannot find my nails on the ground. I cannot find my nails in my toolbox. I cannot find my nails anywhere.
In the ham, green eggs and ham.
You caught that. Thank you. That's exactly where I was going.
I
couldn't find them
in my hand. I cannot find them where I am.
Yes, that's exactly how it was. And I was getting so pissed off. And then I finally just had to accept I don't have them. Everybody's closed. Places like Walmart do not sell nails like this. It's a Home Depot kind of a thing, and they're closed. Everyone's closed. Everyone's either asleep.
They closed early for New Year's
or
anyway.
They're partying their balls off for New Year's Eve. So I couldn't even phone a friend that might have a strip of nails that fits my gun. And I stood in the middle of this street, which was about 500 yards long. All you could see was the street lights. It was quiet, just quiet as a mouse in the middle of the night. And I just took my hammer out of my tool belt. I'm out there by myself. Have I said I'm out there by myself?
Yes, you have.
I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I wasn't trying to get anybody worked up. I was by myself. I took my hammer out of my tool belt and I took about a 4-step leap and I fucking threw this hammer as far as I could throw it. I was so mad. I even gave out like, ah! And I just threw it and you could see it. I threw it so far that when it hit, I didn't even hear it hit. It was like, oh my God, I was so fucking mad. I just left it. I didn't even get my fucking hammer back. I was like, fuck it, I'm so fucking mad. And I just took my shit off. I threw it in my work truck, whatever it was at the time, shut the doors, and I just drove off. Unbelievably frustrated and pissed. By the time all this went down, I still didn't make it home by midnight. I missed New Year's Eve, and I just felt like the biggest fucking loser that's ever lived because I ran out of nails.
And you only needed
I swear to God, I only need 15 would have done
15
it.
nails tops.
15 would have done it.
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
So the next morning, the carpet guys show up and they're like, what the fuck? This base isn't done. I get phone calls all morning. I am in trouble. I'm getting yelled at. I'm like, you said you were going to get it done. I was like, yes, I know I was going to get it done. I was there till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night last night trying to get it done. Yeah, but we need to get this done because the carpet guys are here. And now what are we going to do? And it's like, and nobody appreciates that I was there till 11 o'clock at night.
You just didn't get it done.
I just didn't get it done. And so now I'm the asshole.
Yep. That's how it works.
That's how construction works, people.
Mm-hmm. And every sub blames the other sub. Well, they're in my way, so I can't do my shit. They're in my way.
I didn't have regular nails.
He didn't have regular nails.
I was so high tech.
He didn't have any nails at all.
No, trust me, I contemplated that. And I think the only thing I had in my van was like roofing nails. I can't nail up trim with like those big headed roofing nails.
Side note, I know nothing of carpentry, Jared says.
No, I feel you. I would have
He
hand
could've.
nailed. I would have absolutely hand
If he
nailed.
had any nail at all.
But I didn't even have the option to hand nail.
Get
the
you a
shit.
magnet and go around the job site. You
Oh.
could have found something in the dark, right?
The builder I
Oh.
worked for had like 3 or 4 houses on that street. So I even went into all those houses. Like maybe there's a random little rack of nails laying on the floor.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It was
Miserable.
awful.
If you're in construction, you get it. You understand that crap.
Being on the job site at 11 o'clock at night on New Year's Eve is that can make you feel like a loser really fast.
Yep. Yeah.
Unbelievable. But also being self-employed as far as horror stories, I have missed so many of my own birthdays. I have missed birthdays of yours. I have missed birthdays of my kids. I have missed holidays. I have been on the job Christmas Eve. I have been on the job New Year's Eve. I've had to go to the job Thanksgiving Day.
Elkie says, what about cock it? And then Jared said, ha, 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 ha. She said cock.
You can cock it, but you got to at least get it on the wall.
Right.
The cock doesn't hold the trim too well.
The cock doesn't hold the trim. That's funny. I heard him say it, everybody. The cock doesn't hold the trim. So, but you're right. We've been job siting. I have been on the road for Christmas. I've been on the road for Thanksgiving. We've been on job sites till 10 o'clock after getting up and working at 6, whatever, we have real jobs.
And I do have a fun story about my business and music.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Let's do it.
It's kind of cool. Like I went through a phase one time where I wanted to sort of write down my goals. A lot of us, who are self-employed especially, but anybody who is always trying to kind of better their life, they usually are out there listening to people, life coach type people, the Jim Rohns of the world. And, just to try to, help yourself out. Like we all want to do better, right?
Yeah.
So you get these kind of books, these self-help books, you do all these kind of things. And all of them, every single one of them point towards setting goals. You got to set some goals. And there's been a lot of times that I've just been like, and they're like, write them down, write those goals down.
Yeah.
I'm like, really, I got to actually write them down. Like, I know what my goal is in my head. And they're like, it doesn't matter if you know it in your head.
Right.
Write it down, make it a tangible thing that you write it down. And I couldn't believe in this more than fucking, I couldn't preach it more than anybody else who's ever preached it in the past. There's something different about you physically taking a pen or a pencil and writing it on a piece of paper, your goals. Don't put it in an app. Don't put it in your notes app. Don't fucking just keep it in your head and just think about it in your head. Literally, there's something about writing it down. And so one time I set some goals for my company, for my business, and there was all kinds of things. Get this much money by this amount of time, sell this much this year, get this amount done by a certain date. I kind of really worked through it. And just for the fuck of it, it just came to my head. I was like, I want to work for a celebrity. I want to do cabinets for a celebrity. And I just wrote that on my list. I had no leads. I didn't know any celebrities. Nothing like that. I just, for some reason, I made, I don't know, 6 or 7 serious goals that had to do with money and timing and doing these kinds of things. And then I was like, I'm just going to throw some out here that are just some like fun goals.
Yeah.
Here's another goal I actually have, and I actually do have. I want to work for a celebrity. This was back in the day when like MTV or somebody was doing the cribs or whatever. So you'd see these people like, oh, here's my crib. Remember that show?
Oh, yeah. MTV Cribs.
MTV Cribs. And a lot of times they would walk through the kitchen and I'm looking at their kitchen going, fucking
Your
God, that's a
kitchen sucks.
terrible kitchen. It's fucking shitty.
Come on, Snoop. Your
I could
kitchen
slay
sucks.
that kitchen. Yeah, I remember
Britney
seeing
Spears, your kitchen is a dick.
I remember seeing a show when Dr. Dre was building his brand new house with his studio. I was like, oh my gosh, I could kill that. He would love me.
Yep.
I could do so much cool shit for him. And so I don't know, maybe that was the weird thought that came to my head. Like, you know, I'm just going to throw it out there. Someday I'd like to work for a celebrity.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to bring that up.
Okay.
So about 4 months later, out of the blue, I get a call from a very good friend, architect of mine. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
An architect friend, an architect, very good friend of mine.
Yes. I see what you mean.
I don't know how to say that.
It wasn't really, yeah. Okay.
But he actually got me a lot of work because we kind of got to be friends. And
Do you want to say his name?
He knew I was pretty creative in what I do and all those kinds of, I mean, I can. Euroworld is the name of his business. He's also a musician. He doesn't play out. He doesn't do shows very much, but Ron Hill is his name. Not the Ron Hill, the drummer, but a different Ron Hill, who's one of the most amazing architects maybe that's ever lived. Euroworld Designs. Anyway, he calls me up one day. He's like, hey, I got a guy that I'm doing a little bit of work for here, trying to redesign his loft. And I told him, like, you're the shit. You're the one to do it. You're the perfect fit. And I was like, oh, awesome. Thanks,
and all
man.
he said was, I got a guy.
At first,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, all right, cool, man. And he's like, you want to meet for lunch and talk about it? And I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. He's like, okay, his name is John Dillon. And I was like, all right, who's that? And he was like,
What do you mean, who's that?
he's basically the guy that started the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. And I'm like, the fuck around? I mean, because for me personally, I know the Devils aren't like, you know, fucking Michael Jackson, I guess, as far as fame's concerned, or the Beatles or whatever. But I grew up on these guys. Like, this was like the soundtrack of my life. And he wasn't one of those, listen, and I've already made a rant about this before, but all them Devils that came later, you know, not into those guys. I'm only into the guys that were in the original band back when I was 3 years old.
You're actually dissing a bunch of local musicians.
I know I am. I know I am. I'll tell you, Nick Sibley, all you guys, you're not really a devil. I'm sorry, you're not. And you know you're not either. Come on, I ain't pissing too many people off. There's like the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, and then there's all these fill-in dudes, and I just don't buy it with the fill-in dudes. I'm still, you know, I'm still fine with those guys.
Yeah.
I respect them.
Totally.
But, you know,
They're great.
you're not an Ozark Mountain Daredevil. Come on. Just because you're playing with them right now, I'm sure it feels good. I'm sure it's kind of like you probably thought they were a great band back in the day, too.
And they're great musicians.
Yeah, they're great musicians. And now you're on stage with them going like, yeah, I'm in the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. No, you are not. No, you are not.
They're on their wiki page.
I know they are, and they shouldn't be. Somebody needs to smack Wiki in the face. Listen.
Terry Jones says, so Dan is into old guys?
Listen.
Yeah.
He
apparently.
must be pounding the apple crown tonight.
He's pounding the apple crown or the some sort of crown.
To
crown.
me, there's the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, and then there's like this hybrid this fucking hybrid mixed shit that came later. And it's fine. It's fine.
They're
It's
fine.
fine.
They're fun. They're good. They're fun.
It's fine. I love you. I love all of you that's ever had the chance to play with them. Love it. Love it.
But Dan's into old guys.
But you truly are not an Ozark Mountain Daredevil. You're just a fill-in dude that came later. You didn't live the gut and the grind that they did to get that shit off the ground. And those are the guys I'm talking about. Well, the one who was a very major part in the absolute beginnings of the whole entire thing was John Dillon. And I have been listening to him since I was 3 years old. And so we go meet for lunch and I'm sitting there with John and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to be cool. Like, oh yeah, cabinets. Yeah. Cabinets. Yeah. Drawer guides. Oh yeah. We'll use the greatest drawer guides ever. Yeah. And this kind of cabinet here. Oh, you want a cookie sheet pull out? Okay. That's great. And I'm like in the surreal world, just like, am I fucking talking about cookie sheet pullouts with fucking John Dillon? And I'm not trying to act like geeky and fanboy. I just got to sit here and be like, yeah, cookie sheet pullouts. That sounds great. Anyway, I do a whole job for him. And we actually sort of become friends. We have an interview we did with him on the Unsung Dreamers that I want to promise we would release it tomorrow. But I actually want to work on it a little bit. And maybe I'll hold myself accountable to this show tonight to get that interview out next Friday.
The video interview is available. It's
the video
out there.
interview is available.
And it's on our website.
I asked him,
unsungdreamers.com.
I was like, hey man, can you come be on our podcast? And we're not going to talk about the Ozark Mountain Daredevil success. We're going to talk about you and how you got into it and like your childhood and what inspired you to even want to be into music to begin with, because that's what the Unsung Dreamers is all about. We're not about talking about all the awards you've won,
right,
or all the records you've sold or how many charts you topped. I just want to talk about what did you think about music when you were 6 years old?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said to me when we were talking about this, he said, I don't even want to do it if we're going to talk about the Daredevils like that. He's like,
awesome.
The whole reason I want to do this interview is because I know you want to talk about the early days of me and my life and how I got into it. And that's a story I have rarely told anyone in the world ever until I was on the Unsung Dreamers podcast, because nobody in my career has ever asked me about what life was like when I was 6. They all just want to talk about how many records we sold and how famous we got. And no one talks to me about when I was 6 years old, except you, Dan. You're the one that wants to find out how the hell this all started in my crazy artistic head. And that's why I will agree to come and be interviewed by the Unsung Dreamers. Boom sauce right there. And he did it. And we sat right here in this studio and talked for over 3 fucking hours. That video is available on our website, and you can find it on our Facebook page, but you're going to have to scroll a whole lot. You can just find it easier on our website.
Yep.
And I'm going to release the audio version of that interview, virtually unedited. And what I mean by that is I'll just take out the parts where we were all taking a piss break. And I'll give you the whole fucking thing. It is amazing. It's magical. My mom came over because she's loved the Ozark Daredevils, obviously way longer than I have. She was able to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. She was able to actually sit and talk to John for a little bit. Anyway, the bigger idea is, in my business, I set a goal to work for a celebrity. And in my mind, that goal got met because I did all the cabinets for John Dillon in his loft. And they're awesome.
Fucking great.
And that was cool. Write your goals down.
Write them on paper.
It doesn't matter how weird they are, and it doesn't matter how like impossible they seem to be able to ever be met.
Right. Still
write them down, pin them up, and look at them every single day and make them happen.
Speaking of jobs, she's not a musician, but your sister-in-law actually like drew a picture, just a sketch, like a really rough, crude sketch of herself wearing a doctor's coat, getting her
Graduating.
And when she graduated, there was a picture taken of her like grabbing her diploma from medical school, becoming a doctor. And you could hold them side by side.
They're almost exact.
And they're almost identical. Identical. What? Yeah, let's look. So, I mean, that's one of the things about writing it down. We also
write your goals down.
We
people.
wrote a goal down and stuck it on the mirror, and like 6 months later, it came true. Like having a
we wrote a goal
stuff.
down and we stuck it on the mirror. That for months and months and months, Tara and I talked about Backbeat Studios, and it was all in our head. It didn't exist. We didn't even have a place to live, basically. And we wrote down that we want Backbeat Studios to be a physical brick and mortar real place, not just a concept, not just an online idea, not just something that we do like, in home. We want an actual place that is Backbeat Studios. Within 6 months, we actually had a place a lot of people don't know about, actually down the strip mall from Carrie's.
Right.
We had a place there actually for a little while. And then we had little rough bumps and bubbles and trying to find a place to live. And now here we sit in Backbeat Studios right here in our house.
It became reality.
And it's why that picture is back there.
Yeah.
If you can see it, these are garages of some of the most major companies the world's ever known. And they all started in a garage just
That's
like
right.
this.
Because this sits in a garage, believe it or not. So we're going to check out this. Let's just read that. This is from Julia. She's at work right now and she's trying to be incognito. But she says, a few years ago, I was manager at a hotel attached to the Branson Landing. It's the one that had Waxy O'Shea's bar downstairs.
Stayed there.
Yeah.
Unless the story's about me. Oh, geez.
I don't think it is. My band Bender played Waxy's regularly, and we always close with Kick Out the Jams, which I count off by yelling, Kick out the jams, motherfuckers! Did the Saturday night show, then had the desk shift at the hotel on Sunday. Got an angry phone call from a guest who was pissed about the loud band who was screaming rude words last night. I apologize on behalf of the hotel.
And it was her?
And it was her.
It was her that did it? Oh my gosh.
She was the band.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice work, Julia.
I'm sorry. Like, I'll talk to them next time. Like, sounds like that singer was really inappropriate.
Inappropriate. So just since we're talking about that, if you don't write down your goals, it would be like Dan clearing out his emails and Tara updating the Unsung Screamers logo.
Oh my God.
Thanks.
I hate that guy so much.
I know we hate him so much, and yet we give him so much love. It's crazy.
Look, I'll even show you. Look
all right,
this.
I'm going to put this up here.
This is, I should have wrote it down.
Eric Gwynn says, my goal is to have my card paid off next year. Okay, write it down. Write
that down. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it.
Put it up there and maybe, I don't know.
It's at the top row, third one over. Look at this.
Love you too, Bono.
Can you see it?
No, I can't really see it. It's getting all washed out. Maybe they can see it, but I can't.
Doesn't really matter. My email icon has 1,043.
So he still hasn't done it.
I still haven't cleared it out. 1,043
emails.
3 emails that I still haven't cleared out. Maybe I should write that goal down.
Okay, here's a piece of paper.
I might get it done.
Here's a piece of paper.
I'm going to write it down now.
He's going to write it down now.
Here's how you write down your goals.
Here's how you write down your goals, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to clear out my emails by
set realistic goals, ladies and gentlemen.
by next week's episode.
All right. Okay.
Signed, Dan Fritz. All right.
So hold that up to the camera. He wrote down a goal. There it is. I should be using blue paper.
And I signed it.
Kimberly says, so that's why you've never replied to my emails.
Might be. There could be an email in there that says I won $1 million. I don't have any idea.
Jerry Jones says, can you mark down to clear out mine too, please? All right.
He also said he's doing peach tonight, not
right. He's doing peach beam. It's not even
Peach
crown.
Beam.
Oh, you went cheap. I get it.
Yeah,
I see it. I understand. Holy crap. We are pushing 2 hours and we haven't really covered everything yet, have we?
Yeah, let's talk about it. If any of you guys know, real quick, as we start to wind down the show, we made a list of some things.
I've got some here. So
about musicians in this town that actually own their own business. And it would be wonderful if you would just start to think in your mind when something comes up that pertains to some of these things these people do. You might kind of give them a call first,
right,
instead of just calling somebody out of the yellow pages, which I know doesn't exist anymore, but you know what I'm saying. If you just search something and be like, oh yeah, I need my dryer fixed, I'll just find some guy that fixes dryers. No, there's people in town, musicians in town that can do those kinds of things. There you go right there. Tall Guy Appliances, Jody Guy Cotton Gim. Plays drums for the Papa Green Shoes, as well as been playing music around this town forever. And he's awesome.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
I don't know what that was.
And so, but by the way, Fritz Designs, if you need cabinets or woodworking.
Yeah, if you need any kind of woodworking done, call us. We kind of gave you a little bit of our story. We do cabinets, we do remodels, we do new construction.
He'll make you a
project.
bench.
No project is too small. I'll do small projects. I'll do big projects. We'll do whatever.
You tell him your dream and Dan will make it come true.
It's true. I mean, I'm not going to do it for free, but I'll give you a buddy rate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right here.
So we do the woodworking. Stony Cotton Gim, which
Jody's
is
brother.
Yes. Jody's brother.
Jody's brother. That's what I said.
Did you say Jody's brother?
I said Jody's brother. Yes.
He works on cars, man. He's already fixed 2-3 of my cars. Well, one of them he didn't fix. I sent him a car that he was just like, this car's
dead.
And that was a bummer.
Yeah. But he gave an honest opinion, right?
Gave an honest opinion. He charges honest prices. He knows what he's doing. And when you're like, just, oh my gosh, my car is not engine lights on. I'm telling you, Stoney can take care of it.
And he got you right in. I mean, he may be super busy, but at that point he got you right in. So give him a call. And of course, we don't have numbers or anything like this, but there's Google, there's Facebook.
But we're just telling you guys, man.
Look this shit up.
You can look up Stony Cotton Gim and you can look up Jody Cotton Gim.
Tall Guy Appliances. And here we're gonna go to Kanita. Kanita has 2 different businesses. She has a flea market called RC Mart, and she has a hair salon called Two Blonde Salon. So go check out Kanita. She's episode 2.
Yeah, she
on our
is,
show. And Jody is an episode also. He is. Oh shit. Crap.
We need a spotlight on that. Oh, 33.
No, 33. Well, duh. I should have known that.
He said he wanted to be 33.
33. So.
Yeah, so if you are interested in actually selling things out of a flea market, or if you just love going flea market shopping, Kanita Silva actually has a flea market right here in town, and she also does hair and has the salon over there. So just put some thought into that. Like if you're in one of those moods on a Saturday, like, I want to go rummage through some flea markets or anything like that, maybe go over there and support her. She's been playing music around here for a long time with Norm Jackson and has done some great accomplishments
Fleetwood Mac
with the
tribute.
Gypsies and even winning, blues awards out of Memphis. So, go check her flea market out if you're in a flea market mood. I don't know.
Next up, we got Tiffany Samples. Now, she sang with Out of Eden. She sang with the Trash Angels, but she's also a massage therapist, and she's at a place called Solace Body Solutions. I don't know if it's Solace or Solace. I don't know how to say that, but she will get you fixed up. She's with the COVID going on, everything's sanitary and all that cool stuff. So go check her out.
It's actually really cool. Like as far as massages, she gives you, she will give you all kinds of advice on exercises,
wellness, general wellness.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a wellness stretches that'll make you feel better, and exercises and massages. And, they also do lots of other stuff too. It's actually really neat. We
Yeah.
have not partook yet,
I want to partake so badly.
but we need to set something up and let her rub us
and
down.
get her rub us down.
We need to let
I like
Tiffany
that. We
rub
want
us
Tiffany to
down.
rub us down.
No doubt about it. No doubt about
Oh,
it.
next on my list, Priority Pest Control, Jeff Ward of the Dirty Saints.
Jeff Ward from the Dirty Saints, Priority Pest.
If you need some bugs killed, give him a call. They got
No
a
kidding.
website. They got all that kind of stuff.
We've
Great
asked
stuff.
him if he does rodents, but I don't think he really wants to get too much.
We
into
have a
rodents.
mice
So,
problem.
I think we have a squirrel problem.
Oh, upstairs. Yeah. In the attic.
I don't know if he does much with the old
Larger-
squirrels and
Larger varmints.
and raccoons and shit, but he does do the
bugs.
definitely
The roaches, the
bugs.
fleas, the whatever.
Roaches, fleas, ants, stuff in your yard, all kinds of stuff. He's been doing that for a long time, and I know a lot of you guys already know this, but hey, we're just throwing it out there again. Dirty Saints guitar player Jeff Ward.
That's right.
Priority Pest Control.
Of course, we've already mentioned Jared from Sunset Productions and the Audio Roast podcast.
Jared Isaacs, yes, Sunset Productions. If you've got anything, and this is one thing, and I think we even mentioned it when he was on earlier, it doesn't necessarily have to be a band. I mean, if you got a kick-ass puppet show going and you need some fucking badass lighting and some shit or whatever else, Sunset Productions does any and all those kinds of things.
Anything you need a PA or lighting for,
live
they can take care
entertainment.
of you.
It could be events. It could be a band. It could be anything. And so he's all set up with the PA and the lighting and the fun stuff for doing that sort of thing. Jared Isaacs. And yes, you can get to know him a little more on the Audio Rose podcast.
So here's another place where we knew what this particular musician does, but
real quick before you say anything.
Yes.
If any of you out there have got some more people we can add to this list, let us know.
Please comment.
We're just trying to kind of dive into a lot of the people we already know, and a lot of which we've already used.
Yes, actually, Jam and Jamie. I don't have him on here.
Tara and I have actually used half the people we've already told you about.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway,
we've used them.
Throw in the comments some musicians you know in the Springfield area that actually do some work that we could all try to help support.
So Jared says live streams as
he
well,
does live
corporate,
streams as
private
well.
functions, etc. So that's Sunset Productions for that.
Right. So these situations going on where people are like, unfortunately having to have funerals, but they're live streaming them because a lot of people can't come to the funeral.
Right.
That kind of shit.
It's
too.
COVID and all that
That's
crap.
I'm not saying, I didn't mean to make it sound like Jared specializes in funerals, but
but he can do that.
That kind of thing where you might just want a live stream done of something.
Yeah.
And Sunset Productions does that too.
Absolutely. So now I'm going to go to Dirk Allman from the Dirty Saints, also the singer for the Dirty Saints. Now he does tile. Does he work for a company?
No, wait.
Before
we say this, let us disclose. I'm not sure if he's still doing this.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I know that he was a flooring guy, kind of a flooring guy.
Yeah. Some sort of flooring guy.
I don't know if he's retired now or maybe he's just too old. I mean, Dirk is like, I mean,
you're always making fun of the old guys in the Dirty Saints.
Dirk used to play at the old Opry here in town.
The old Jubilee.
The Jubilee.
The Ozarks Jubilee back in the 40s.
Yeah, when Dirk was like 20 years old, he used to play at the Ozarks Jubilee.
Oh my God, you're such an ass.
Here in town. So I'm not sure if he's still laying floors or not, but I do know that he used to do it.
Okay, well.
If he doesn't still do it, I'm sure he could probably tell you somebody that does.
Well, fantastic.
But I mean, you need to talk loud when you talk to Dirk. Because when he was like 50 years old, he was at the Ozark Jubilee.
When he was 50.
Yeah, when he was 50.
Man.
I'm just kidding. Come on. Dirk looks great for his age.
He's great. Oh,
I wish I looked that good at his age, which is way further down the road than I am.
Elkie and Jared both say that Dirk still does tile.
Oh, he still does tile. Okay.
All right. Cool.
So there you go. Dirk is still kicking it, man. He shows up in his walker and he lays some fucking tile and then he walkers it back out to his Jeep.
Oh my God.
He's got a kick-ass Jeep, actually.
He does. He does. All right. So how about this one?
I'm just playing with Dirk. He's a great guy.
How about this one right here? How you gonna talk about? You got to talk about him. You got to talk about him.
Oh, we probably should.
Yeah.
All right. So in the Machine Gun world, I was more of the primary singer for 11 years. This guy, Sean Turner, he also shared some of the songs during that time. Then when I got kicked out, he actually took over before Jay
But
Stevens.
he had left the band previously.
Yeah,
also.
everybody's been in and out.
Yeah.
So before Jay Stevens became the actual singer of the band, there was a kind of a moment between me and Jay Stevens where Machine Gun played shows, and this is the guy who was the lead singer. Between myself and Jay. He's a hell of a home builder. If you're looking for a really wonderful starter home, he doesn't really get into the big, fat, awesome, crazy
Super
custom houses.
Yeah.
He's more the affordable starter home, and they build a lot, and they do a lot of houses. So Turner Building, musician here in town. Sean's been playing music around here for a long time. And if you want that kind of house, if you're looking for that kind of house, you can tell him you know him from Machine Gun, and he'll probably laugh.
He'll probably laugh and like, who told you that?
Yeah, who told you?
Who told you that?
No, he'll be like, did fucking Dan tell you that?
Did Dan tell you that?
Did you hear that from fucking Dan?
Damn it.
God damn it.
So one more that we have here, and I'm not sure, because the last time we talked to Paul,
yeah, we kept this kind of
we
like basic
like
bitch
psychology.
He's some form
of awesome guy who can fix your brain.
He's got something to do with psychology,
but
in a big way.
The last time we saw him, I'm not sure what his official title is where he works right now, because
he's like on CEO level.
Like he's fucking fantastic, but he plays like almost every week over at Shuffle. So he's also a solo guy. He plays in the band Innuendo. But he is also a doctor, like a doctor of psychology.
He's legit doctor,
he's
folks.
Legit. You've talked about your flex your buttocks story.
Yes.
You've told that story.
Go back and listen to
episodes
Paul
on his
Tomlinson's episode.
He is
Unsung
episode
Dreamers.
8, number 8. Paul
Number
is
8.
episode number 8 on our show.
It's a fantastic interview with him.
And
he talks about a lot of cool stuff.
But he used to be with Burl for a long time, and I'm not sure if he offers like individual sessions or anything like that. But he is also a local musician who's a big deal. He's a big deal. He's a total big deal. So that's just a handful that we grabbed off the top of our head before we started the show. So let me look at the comments. Let's see.
Jared said, let's call a spade a spade. Paul Tomlinson's a bug god mind reader.
Yes, you are correct.
He
that
is.
Guy.
He's very good at what he does. He's like the Dr. Phil of Springfield, Missouri.
But better.
Like for real.
But better. Without being...
I could tell Paul all my dirty secrets and I would trust him with them.
I would trust him 100%. See what I did there. So what? Let's scroll back. So Al is saying, doesn't Tuck do woodworking too? I don't know if he does. I don't know. Oh, Jared says, by the way, I can also film cooking shows.
Oh my God. We're gonna figure it out, bro. We're gonna figure it out. I promise.
I promise. Okay. Oh, okay. Elkie had a little bit of a sound issue and now she's back. Okay, cool. Wait. Husband and I, let me just put that up there. Husband and I are house shopping for 100-year-old or older dream home. Would you come to Kansas City and fix the woodwork?
I absolutely would.
There you go. We totally would.
Fritz Designs has traveled to Kansas City many times. I used to do condos up there, as well as several big, awesome houses. I've been to
Minneapolis, Wisconsin. Nebraska?
Yeah, I've been to Omaha. I've worked in the Twin Cities.
Jupiter, Florida.
And I was saving that for last
the
big gong, but yeah, fuck it.
I just ruined it.
I've been to Miami. But Tara just ruined it. So anyway,
I'm a terrible storyteller.
obviously I was building up
I got to the punchline
to
too
the
quickly.
furthest away place I've ever worked before.
But I didn't know any
You're like, well, I've done some work in Branson and Jupiter, Florida. I mean, would you give me a second to build it up? I didn't even talk about Ponca City.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Jesus God, I've done work in Nashville. So anyway, the furthest I've worked was Jupiter, Florida. That was a 22-hour drive. So yes, I will work in Kansas City. Absolutely.
Terry Jones says women ruin everything.
They do.
Jeez.
They do, Terry Jones. They do.
Oopsie.
Even the good ones. Tara's a good one. Listen, Tara's a good one.
I still
but
ruined it.
She still like fucks some shit up that I'm just like, would you shut your trap for just a couple of minutes and let me just speak? Which I've been
You talk all
talking
the time.
almost
Like
this entire episode.
92% of
Well,
our
that's where
show.
you didn't fuck up until you fucked up my fucking Jupiter, fucking Florida
But
fucking
see,
joke.
what the thing is you talk 92% of the time. So in my little 8%, I want to say something big.
I did not do word work for the VMAs, Jared.
Didn't you do something for the VMAs? No.
But I do think I built the bar at that club you used to dance in and play drums with tassels.
Oh,
You little son of a...
Episode
With
38.
beads and tassels, I think I built that bar.
No, Fritz Designs did not build these traveling stage for the Statlers. But I did tour with the Statlers. That's an ongoing joke.
Tara toured with the Statlers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Terry Jones says, new show idea. Does your woman ruin everything? Probably.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll just talk about all the things Tara has ruined for me in my life.
That'd be fantastic. Really? So, okay. So in closing, we are over 2 hours. We have gone long tonight.
We are? Yeah, we need to wrap her
Yes.
up.
We need to wrap it up. Thank you for the compliments on the new setup because I'm digging this too. But what I'm going to do next week is something different. I'm going to change it up. I'm not going to say what it is. Anyway, so please, I'm going to say this
You're not
right now.
changing the setup. This looks great.
Okay. No, it's
Look
good.
at, like, I'm in the black area of the screen and then you're in the red. It looks like we actually are doing a split screen, but our actual room changes like that in color. And so it looks like Tara's in the happy place and I'm in the dark, horrible, happy place. And like not happy place.
Really?
Like I'm in a terrible, terrible place. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have no idea what you're saying. The light is right there. The camera is right there. Like, what are you talking about?
It's kind of like the Ursula Pez. Just look at Pez brick.
Bringing it back to the Pez dispenser.
Ursula Pez. It's got to be the devils of our childhood. You know the Mickey Mouse gang?
The Mickey Mouse gang?
Yeah, like Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's the original gang.
Yes.
Who was the villain? What the fuck? They just had life going great for them. It was like, yeah, we're the original Mickey Mouse gang. We're amazing. We don't have a villain. Where's the villain of the original Mickey Mouse gang?
I don't know.
I'm not talking about the villain of like the Disney movies. Because we know, like, what with Snow White? Wasn't there like a witch? So why doesn't the Snow White witch have like a Pez dispenser? Bricks of Pez.
I'm getting some Pez next week.
It's like the ghost from Pac-Man. Pez! Bricks of Pez! I want 100-pound Pez dispenser. of the ghost from Pac-Man. Pez! I'm done.
So
We'll see you guys later. Come next week. I might come up with something funny to say.
Totally. We're gonna do something fun next week. I swear to goodness. We are done, and I understand why I look lit. It's because behind me I have light. You don't have light. Elkie said that.
No, you're red, and I'm like dark and black.
Right. It's all the lighting that's back there. So.
Well, it should be that way so that it features you as being a better person than me. Because I know that's like the goal of all women.
I want to just praise before we say goodnight. I bet Jody has plenty of Pez because he's a candy freak, and apparently Jared has listened to that episode. So kudos to you. Thank you all so much. If you want to support the show right there, I put it up there. And I'm going to also do this right here. We will say goodnight, and we will see you next week. Who knows?
Felicia.
We don't know what the hell we're going to talk about, but it doesn't matter. We love you all.
I got a new wedding ring.
Move over so they can see you. They got to see you. They got to see you in the camera.
Why'd you put that? I got a new wedding ring.
Oh, nice. I like that. We will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for coming in. Love you guys.
See you. Bye-bye.